This episode of The Solar Coaster is narrated using AI-generated technology, representing Anna Covert and Alex Herrera. The material presented is aggregated from publicly available solar industry news sources. All commentary reflects reported industry developments and does not constitute personal opinions, investment advice, or endorsements by the hosts or producers.
Hop on a solar coaster, come along for the ride.
Welcome to The Solar Coaster, the wild ride to the solar industry told by the people living it every day. I'm Anna Covert.
And I'm Alex Herrera.
Data centers are consuming as much electricity as entire cities, and experts are warning we could literally run out of power for them by 2027. It's a crisis that almost nobody is talking about, but it could reshape our entire digital future.
That's such a stark warning, and it really jumps out from this new industry report I've been studying. Over half of the experts surveyed are saying energy availability is their biggest obstacle looking ahead.
You know what's fascinating about this? It's not just about building more power plants. The report shows that 54% of industry experts see energy availability and redundancy as their primary challenge. But the solutions they're proposing are pretty diverse.
Right, and the breakdown of their ideal energy mix really tells a story. We're looking at 41% renewables, 17% natural gas, 16% nuclear, and 14% battery storage systems.
Hmm. What strikes me about those numbers is how they're betting big on renewables, but there's this interesting disconnect with nuclear power. Only 14% of developers are actually pursuing modular nuclear reactors, even though 16% think it should be part of the solution.
That makes me wonder, are we seeing a gap between what developers think would work and what they're willing to risk their money on?
Well, that's exactly what makes this situation so complex. And here's what's really keeping industry insiders up at night. 63% of them are expecting a strategic correction in the market by 2030. One banking executive even predicted that power availability will hit a wall around 2027 or 2028.
The timeline on that prediction is pretty alarming, especially when you consider how long it takes to build new power infrastructure.
And that's why we're seeing this massive push toward efficiency. About 48% of industry participants see advances in energy efficiency as their biggest opportunity through the end of the decade. It's like they're realizing we can't just keep building our way out of this problem.
You know what's really interesting about that? Nearly three-quarters of respondents, 74% to be exact, are putting their faith in advanced energy storage systems like batteries and microgrids.
And we're already seeing some unexpected developments in that space. There was this fascinating case just recently where a battery storage project actually gave up its grid connection to a data center because they found they could make more money operating independently.
That's such a counterintuitive outcome. Like the solution ended up being completely different from what everyone expected.
Exactly. And it really speaks to what Rachel Conrad from Foley's team pointed out about the next 5 to 10 years. Power providers are going to have to either dramatically increase capacity or find revolutionary ways to improve efficiency.
So, what do you think this means for the future of AI and all these data hungry technologies we're developing?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. We're essentially watching this perfect storm develop where AI is driving unprecedented demand for computing power, but we're bumping up against very real physical limitations in terms of energy infrastructure.
The timing couldn't be more critical, especially with all these new AI models requiring more and more computing power.
And here's what I find particularly fascinating about this whole situation. It's forcing us to confront some really fundamental questions about sustainable growth in the digital age. When Daniel Ferris talks about this gold rush mentality around securing power, he's highlighting a really crucial point about how we might be approaching this whole situation wrong.
That's such a thought provoking comparison to the gold rush era. Do you think we'll see similar boom and bust cycles?
Looking at the data from these 105 industry experts, it seems almost inevitable. But unlike the gold rush, we can't just move on to the next territory when we run out of resources. We're going to have to innovate our way out of this challenge.
The urgency really comes through in their responses, doesn't it? Especially when you consider how quickly 2027 is approaching.
And that's really the key takeaway here. We're not just facing a technical challenge or an energy challenge. We're facing a fundamental rethinking of how we build and maintain our digital infrastructure. The winners in this space won't just be those who can secure the most power, but those who can use it most efficiently.
So it sounds like the future of our digital world might depend less on technological breakthroughs and more on solving this energy puzzle.
Precisely. And just like the original gold rush transformed California, this data center boom and the energy challenges it's creating might end up transforming our entire approach to digital infrastructure. The real innovation might not be in processing power or storage capacity, but in figuring out how to do more with less. Let's switch gears here. The solar industry is experiencing a major transformation, but here's something surprising. While women make up 47% of the total U.S. workforce, they represent only 4% of solar installation technicians. Today, we're exploring how one organization is working to change those numbers.
Those statistics really highlight the disparity. What exactly is being done to address this imbalance?
Well, there's this fascinating initiative from a Colorado nonprofit called Solar for Women. They're launching this series called Making Yourself Indispensable in a Tight Job Market. 3 intensive sessions specifically designed to help women break into and advance in solar technical roles.
Hmm, that's interesting. What makes this program different from other professional development series?
So, what's really unique is how they're approaching it from multiple angles. The first session in March focuses on networking and job hunting. But here's the key: they've got actual industry insiders like Janet Gomez from Freedom Forever sharing real world strategies for breaking into the field.
That practical experience must be invaluable. What other topics are they covering?
Well, the April session is actually, and this is really clever, focused entirely on certifications and licenses. They're bringing in Amanda Bybee from Amicus O&M Cooperative to break down which credentials actually give you the best return on investment. Instead of just throwing money at every possible certification.
That kind of insider knowledge could save someone thousands of dollars and months of wasted effort.
Exactly. And they've got Jenny Conradi, who's a journeyman electrician, sharing her real experiences, like which certifications actually helped her advance versus which ones weren't worth the investment.
Tell me more about how they're addressing the financial aspects of entering the industry.
That's actually the focus of their May session. It's all about salary negotiation and knowing your worth in the market. They've brought in Anna Bautista from Grid Alternatives to lead workshops on interview techniques and negotiation strategies.
You know what's really striking about this whole initiative? It seems to be addressing both the technical and cultural barriers women face in the industry.
Right. And what makes this organization particularly interesting is their founder's background. Riley Neugebauer has been in the solar industry since 2009, working as everything from an installer to an electrician. She's seen firsthand the challenges women face in these roles.
So, how are they ensuring these sessions actually lead to real world success?
Well, that's where their mentorship network comes in. They're not just doing these webinars in isolation, they're creating ongoing support systems. They've got hands on training workshops where women can actually get up on roofs and work with real equipment.
That combination of practical skills and professional development seems crucial for long term success.
And here's something interesting: they're timing this perfectly with the industry's growth. The solar sector is projected to grow by 50% over the next 5 years, which means there's going to be huge demand for skilled workers.
Looking at the bigger picture, how might this impact the renewable energy sector as a whole?
Well, studies have shown that diverse teams tend to be more innovative and better at problem solving. So, by bringing more women into these technical roles, we're not just addressing gender disparity, we're potentially improving the industry's ability to tackle complex challenges.
That makes me wonder about the economic implications. Have there been any studies on the financial impact of increased diversity in technical fields?
Actually, yes. Companies with above average diversity in their management teams have been shown to generate innovation revenue that's 19% higher than companies with below average leadership diversity. It's not just about equality, it's about better business outcomes.
So, what happens after these webinars? How do they ensure lasting impact?
They've created this comprehensive resource library with templates for things like salary negotiation, and they're facilitating ongoing networking groups. But perhaps most importantly, they're tracking success metrics, following up with participants to see how the program impacts their career trajectories.
That kind of long term support and data tracking could really help refine the program over time.
Exactly. And they're already seeing results. Some of their early participants have gone on to lead installation teams or start their own solar businesses. It's creating this ripple effect where successful participants become mentors themselves.
Looking ahead, what do you think this means for the future of the solar industry?
Well, with the push toward renewable energy and the growing demand for skilled workers, programs like this aren't just nice to have, they're essential. We're going to need all hands on deck to meet our clean energy goals, and that means tapping into talent pools that have historically been underutilized.
That really puts this initiative into perspective. It's not just about diversity, it's about meeting the demands of a rapidly growing industry.
And that's really the key takeaway here. By addressing these barriers to entry and providing comprehensive support, Solar for Women isn't just helping individual careers, they're helping build the workforce we need for a sustainable future. Well, that's all for today. We want to thank all of you for joining us.
Yeah, we want to thank everyone for all the continued support, and we hope to see you again next week when we dive into the wild ride that is the solar coaster. Thank you again. Goodbye for now.
Hop on the solar coaster, come along for the ride. Yeah.
The solar coaster is proudly sponsored by Sun Energy Today, redefining what solar means for business and infrastructure. We engineer and deliver large-scale clean energy solutions, from megawatt solar farms to advanced graphene storage, designed for resilience, performance, and measurable return. Sun Energy Today, built to power what's next. Learn more at sunenergytoday.com.